Hello and welcome our blood viewers to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we begin this news with the major and top headlines of tonight. Workshop on the integration of the general history of Africa by MEMFOP and UNESCO. And on the international scene, tens of thousands of families are facing winter in makeshift shelters, humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom of blood viewers. As part of the national project implemented by the Ministry of Health through the Center for the Procurement of Medicines and Essential Medical Supplies, the Ministry of Health continued his regional tour in the Arta area following Ubukh Dekhel in Tajura. Upon his arrival at the Arta Regional Headquarters, the Ministry of Health received a warm welcome from the Governor of the area, Mr. Hassan Dabale, and the President of the Arta Regional Council, Mr. Ilmi Buh, in the presence of Administrative and Health authorities and local partners. The Minister presided over the official handover ceremony for a substantial consignment of essential medicines and medical supplies destined for primary health facilities in the region. This shipment is intended to ensure an uninterrupted supply of essential medicines at clinics and health posts, prevent stock shortages, and improve the quality of health services, strengthen the management and tracking of medical supplies, guarantee equitable access to health services for all residents. The governor of Arta expressed his deep gratitude to the minister for these courteous deliveries of medicines and medical supplies, stressing that the initiative contributes to sustainable improvements in healthcare, including in remote areas. The Last Mile project reaffirms its strategic role in modernizing the pharmaceutical supply system and ensuring equitable access to health services for the entire population. The Leita Health Center receives various medical equipment and medicines. After his visit to the regional headquarters, Minister Dr. Ahmed Robli Abdillah and his team traveled to the Leita locality, where he also presided over the reception of a consignment of medicines and medical supplies allocated to the local health center. On arrival, he was welcomed by the governor of the area, locally elected representatives, the chief medical officer of the Arta Health District, the general director of CAM, as well as clan elders and local residents. Following an inspection of the health center, the minister met with the elected officials and elders to hear their requests concerning access to healthcare, human resources, steady supply of medicines. The ministry reiterated the Ministry of Health's commitment to substantially support local health facilities. At the end of the visit, a communal iftar was organized in the Arta Regional Headquarters in honor of health staff, with renewed assurance of the ministry's ongoing support. The Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, in partnership with UNESCO, organized today at the Teacher Training Center a national workshop dedicated to integrating the general history of Africa into the educational curriculum. The workshop took place under the high patronage of the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Muhammad Mahmoud, and brought together prominent figures from the educational sector, including the National Coordinator of UNESCO Programs and the Head of Djibouti Office, Mr. Muhammad Abdullah Mahyoub, the Director General of the Teacher Training Center, as well as chief inspectors, the three mayors of the capital, and a large number of ministry officials and representatives of other institutions. The national workshop is part of efforts to reinforce Africa's historical heritage and to strengthen education linked to the general history of Africa. The educational pathway aims to bolster historical literacy amongst actors within the education system, to strengthen the capacities of inspectors, trainers, and teachers, and to integrate teaching resources drawn from UNESCO's works into national pedagogical practice. This workshop opened with a comprehensive presentation of the general history of Africa, the major scholarly undertaking launched by UNESCO in 1964, highlighting its educational and historical dimensions. The work comprises 11 volumes. The program also included presentation of the preparatory survey results for the workshop, which helped identify the needs and expectations of education professionals and broaden public understanding of the cultural and heritage dimension of the general history of Africa. The ceremony concluded with the formal handover of volumes of the general history of Africa to the Inspectorate of History and Geography, demonstrating the commitment to disseminate the reference work within educational institutions. The workshop's activity will continue over 2 days in thematic groups with the aim of drafting practical and concrete recommendations to ensure effective and sustainable integration of the general history of Africa into the curricula. In her remarks, the UNESCO representative said that the general history of Africa is an act of justice and intellectual sovereignty that highlights the central role of the African continent in world history. She stressed that current challenges in line in effective pedagogical implementation of this history in line with Agenda 2063 and the Sustainable Development Goals in order to educate aware, open, and responsible citizens. For his part, the Minister of National Education, Mr. Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, described the integration of the general history of Africa as an educational and political act of great importance. He emphasized the need to restore Africa to its historical depth, to strengthen people's self-confidence, to anchor their Jewish and African identity while remaining open to the world, and to cultivate their critical thinking within the values of the African solidarity. Also, the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, in partnership with UNICEF, this time held a closing ceremony at the Teacher Training Center for a project aimed at stressing and strengthening the capacities of preschool teachers. The ceremony was chaired by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Mr. Muhammad Abdullah Mahyoub, in presence of the UNICEF representatives, the Director General of the Teacher Training Center, the Inspector General of Education, Mr. Abdullah Farah, the Preschool Inspector, Mr. Najia Muhammad, in addition to the supervisors and teachers who benefited from the project. Some parents and preschool children also attended the event. The strategic project aims to sustainably improve the quality of preschool education by adopting innovative pedagogical practices centered on learning through play. The core of the project is an educational approach that treats play as a primary means of learning in early childhood, stimulating curiosity, developing creativity, and promoting the child's overall development while ensuring more effective learning that matches each child's pace and needs. The ceremony featured the presentation of official certificates to teachers who completed their training, symbolizing the completion of their training path and recognizing the commitment to providing high-quality preschool education. The event showcased the strong collective mobilization of all education sector stakeholders around a shared vision, providing an engaging and safe learning environment that ensures children's success. The UNICEF representatives reaffirmed her ongoing commitments to accompany the ministry's efforts to promote inclusive quality education with a focus on early childhood development and strengthening pedagogical skills. The Director of Education's office said that the strategic project aims to sustainably improve the quality of preschool education by adopting innovative pedagogical practices centered on learning through play. The approach considers play a central vehicle for learning from early childhood, helping to stimulate curiosity, develop creativity, and promote holistic child development. In his remarks, the Secretary General of the Ministry, Mr. Muhammad Abdullah Mahyoub, praised the dedication of the teachers who received the training and highlighted the strategic importance of preschool education in building solid educational foundation.
We commended the commitment of the teachers training in this project, which represents a strategy effort to strengthen early childhood education in our country. Early childhood education is a crucial step in building strong and lasting educational foundation. Investing in the ongoing professional development of teachers is a key pillar of our educational reform and guarantee of success for future generations. This project centered on play-based learning stimulates curiosity, creativity, and the overall development of each child by adapting learning to their individual pace and needs.
The Guled Stadium today hosted the official launch of an awareness and training course dedicated to the rules and missions of anti-doping officials, an initiative aimed at strengthening integrity and ethics in Djiboutian sport. The training is organized by the Secretary General for Sport and led by the Director of Sport, who also represents Djibouti in the regional anti-doping organization, with support from Secretariat officials Mr. Ibrahim Hassan Mohammed and Mr. Hussein Ibrahim Darar, both accredited anti-doping officers. Also participating in the training is Dr. Idris Abdullah Saeed, a virtual surgeon and medical expert in the field of anti-doping. His medical expertise enriches the scientific and organizational content of the course, particularly regarding prohibited substance, the psychological effects of performance-enhancing drugs, and health risks to athletes. The initiative aims to provide technical staff from various sports federations, the primary beneficiaries, with a better understanding of anti-doping mechanisms, the responsibilities of anti-doping officials, and procedures used during sample collection and testing. Over 2 days, participants will follow a structured program combining theoretical and practical elements. The Director of Sports, Mr. Abshir, underlined the Secretary's commitment to strengthening anti-doping capacities and promoting a culture of clean sport. He emphasized that improving technical staff knowledge and implementing standardized testing procedures are essential measures to protect athletes' health and ensure fair competition at national and international levels. Shifting towards the regional scene now, the African Union Summit has officially adopted the Algiers Declaration on the Colonization Crimes in Africa, a landmark political and historical step at the continental level. The declaration crowns the proceedings of the International Conference on Colonial Crimes in Africa held in Algiers on 30th of November and 1 of December 2025. Palestinians in the Gaza Strip are enduring extremely difficult humanitarian conditions, with tens of thousands of families forced to face the winter in inadequate shelters, lacking basic protection against severe weather. Thousands of families currently live in makeshift tents that cannot withstand heavy rains and storms. The 18th edition of the Tour of Rwanda cycling race officially began in Rwanda. The event runs from 22nd February to the 1st of March and remains one of the continent's premier cycling fixtures. This edition comes just months after the major success of the 2025 Road Cycling World Championship hosted in Kigali, a historic event that strengthened the country's international profile and marked an important milestone in the development of cycling in Rwanda. Well, buddies, our blood viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more as usual. Have a wonderful evening and take care.